Very good morning, students. This is your English teacher from Sri Vidya Bharati Metric Higher Secondary School, Sakrambalayam. I welcome all of you to our English class. Yes, in the previous class, I explained you a great poem by a great poet, A Poison Tree by William Blake. Poison Tree from Poison Tree by William Blake. It's from our Unit 2 poem. Yes, in the previous class itself, I explained you about the author. You see, this is William Blake, and I also gave you about the author, and this is the poem. This is the poem, A Poison Tree. I hope I gave enough introduction about the poison tree in the previous class. So, still, let me sum up what we saw in the previous class. I sum up, students. The poet William Blake says that he was angry with his friend, and when he told him about the anger, his anger ended. The poet was angry with his enemy. When he did not tell it, his anger grew. As his anger grew, he gave more life to it. With his fears and tears, he tried to smile, but he had some bad thoughts behind his smile. And in the introduction class, I said it is nature for a tree to grow with the help of water and sunshine. Like that, the poet also referred here a tree which is called a poison tree. Actually, poison tree refers the anger, which means the suppressed anger. Yes, in one point I said the theme suppressed feelings or suppressed emotions will cause a great effect both mentally and physically of a person. Yes, we should never suppress our emotions like anger, frustration, sorrow, like that. Here, the poet take anger as a poison tree, which means the suppressed anger as a poison tree. There is no poison, there is no any type of poison tree, but here the poet referred the poison tree as the suppressed anger. The suppressed anger is referred as a poison tree. Yes, as for nature, every tree grows and it gives blossoms, flowers, and fruits. Like that, the poison tree also started growing, and how it grew and how it bore fruits, and what was the effect of those fruits to others. This is what I said in the previous class. Yes, let me read the first two stanzas. I was angry with my friend, I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe, I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in tears, night and morning with my tears. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. This is what I left in the previous class. Yes, here I ask you some questions, pa. Here I refer to the poet. Actually, for every topic of lesson or supplementary or poem, we have to remember always the background. Yes, the poet William Blake once angry with his friend. That time he told his anger to his friend, and that completed. But unfortunately, Blake had anger on his enemy, but he didn't reveal the anger to his enemy. It started growing. Yes. And you see the second stanza, I watered it in fears. I watered it in fears. Yes, it is nature for a tree to grow with the help of water. And here the poet took anger as a poison tree. And what type of water and what type of the things needed to grow the poison tree? You see, the poet watered, which means watering the tree. I refers to the poet and it refers to the tree of anger. In fears, night and morning with my tears. Actually, the poet can't control the anger on his foe. So he started weeping day and night and morning. So you see, the tree, the normal tree grows with the help of water. But in this context, the poison tree is watered with the tears of the poet, tears of the poet. And then one more thing the normal plant needs is the sunshine, here. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft deceitful wiles. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft deceitful wiles. You see, the sunned means the sunshine. Sunned means sunshine. The sunshine needed for the poison tree is nothing but fake smiles, and with soft deceitful wiles. I explained part deceitful wiles means fake, wiles means trick or cunning behavior. You see, the poet watered the tree with tears and make it sunshine with his fake smiles and cunning behavior. As fake smiles and cunning behavior means the poet looks always smiling, but inside he has a type of cunning behavior on his foe. You see, with the help of the poet's tears and fake smiles, the anger tree started growing. Yes. Let me see what the poet tells in the remaining stanzas. You see, the third stanza. Let me read it, ma. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. You see the rhyming, pa. Night bright, shine, mine. And it grew both day and night. You see, if we water a plant and provide enough sunshine means it started growing. Like that, the tree of anger, you see, the third stanza, first line. And it grew both day and night. Here it refers to the tree of anger. The tree of anger grew both day and night. It started growing day and night till it bore an apple bright. You see, as the normal plants, it started growing and giving flowers and fruits. Like that, the anger tree also well grown up by day and night. Yes, it's the time to provide. It's the time to bear fruits. Till, you see the second line, till it bore an apple bright. Here bore means past tense of bear. Past tense of bear, B-E-A-R. Bear means provide or give or bring. Provide, give or bring. The anger tree started giving fruits. You see what type of fruit in poison tree? An apple bright. I can say the word a bright apple. A bright apple. Yes, the anger tree started growing and it is well grown up and started giving a fruit. Here it gave a bright apple. You see, everything which is bright and shining, will attract others. Like that, the poet used the word bright apple. Okay. Soon it will attract someone. Let me see who was attracted with that bright apple. And my foe beheld it shine. And he knew that it was mine. And my foe. Yes, you already got the meaning. Foe means enemy. The poet's enemy beheld. Beheld means saw. The poet's enemy started seeing the bright apple shine. You see, it refers to the apple. You see, already it is bright and it is shining to the eyes of the enemy. My enemy saw the apple. It is looking very shiny, and he knew that it was mine. Each and every line is important because some questions will be asked in the appreciation question. You see, let me explain the fourth line of third stanza. And here he refers to the poet's enemy. You see, the poet's enemy knew that it was mine. Here it refers to the apple given by the anger tree. The apple given by the anger tree. Yes, it was mine. The apple was mine because from his anger only the tree grown up and it gave fruits. So it belongs to the poet. You see, yes, ma. Here I would like to say one thing. It is nature for a human being. If he saw a tree, if he see a tree with all type of colorful flowers and fruits means what we will do? Yes, yeah, it is nature. Everyone likes to have that flowers or have that fruit. If that particular fruit or flower belongs to our relation or someone else means we will ask them. You see the flower looks very bright. You give me the one flower, like that we ask. Otherwise, in some cases, if the tree's owner or if the tree's owner is not ours means what we will do? Yes, actually we will jump up the wall and pick the flowers and fruits to eat. And that time we say stealing fruits will taste better, like that we say. Yes, let me see what happened. Yes, students, I sum up the third stanza. You see, because of the poet's endless effort, his plant, that is the anger plant, grows day and night, by taking the poet's tears as water, and eventually it bears a fruit. The angry tree bears a fruit, that is, you see, the apple bright and shining. You have to remember the words, ma. The apple looks bright and shine. Is this apple a good thing? Is this apple a good thing? You have to remember, if it is a normal tree means that will be healthy. You see, the apple was born from a poison tree, so it will be a poison also. Let me see, the poet's enemy started wondering about the fruit, and soon he will pick the fruit and picks the fruit and eats. Let me see what happened next. Again I read the third stanza. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright, and my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. Let me sum up in Tamil. Yes, இந்த கோபம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு மரம் நல்லா இரவும் பகல் பாராமல் நல்லா வளர ஆரம்பிக்குது. ஆமாம், ஒரு விதையோட நோக்கமே என்ன அப்படின்னா, அதுக்கு போதுமான தண்ணீரோ போதுமான சூரிய வெளிச்சமோ இருந்ததுன்னா அது நல்லா வளர ஆரம்பிக்கும். இங்கே அந்த கோபம் அப்படின்ற அந்த மரமும் நல்லா இரவும் பகல் பாராமல் வளர ஆரம்பிக்குது. எது வரைக்கும்? அது ஒரு பழத்தை கொடுக்குற வரைக்கும். எஸ், ஆமாம், நம்ம கோபம் அப்படின்ற அந்த மரம் நல்லா வளர்ந்துருச்சு. இப்போ அழகான ஒரு பழம் ஒன்று அந்த மரத்தில் வந்திருக்கு. அதுதான் பிரைட் ஆப்பிள். அதுதான் அந்த பிரைட் ஆப்பிள். அது வர அந்த ஆப்பிள் பார்க்குறதுக்கு ரொம்ப பிரைட்டாக ஷைனிங்காக இருக்கிறதுனால நம்ம கவிஞரோட எதிரி அந்த பழத்தை பார்த்து ரொம்ப ஆசைப்படுறாரு. இவ்வளோ பிரைட் அண்ட் ஷைனிங்காக இருக்கே, இதை நம்ம சாப்பிட்டு தான் பார்க்கலாமே அப்படின்றது. உடனே அந்த போயட்டோட எனிமிக்கும் தெரியும், இந்த மரமோ இந்த பழமோ நம்மளது கிடையாது, நம்மளோட எதிரி இது. என்ன பண்ணலாம், இதை எப்படி சாப்பிடலாம் அப்படின்னு யோசிக்கிறாரு. ஆக்சுவலி த poet wanted to convey the message with all type of imaginary activities. Actually he took an example of a tree and fruit and attraction and eating and result, like that. You see the last stanza. This is the conclusion we have, ma. And into my garden. Actually in the previous stanza I said, if you want to pick a fruit and taste it means what we will do? Immediately go to the owner and ask a fruit. Sometimes we hesitate to ask. Then what we do? Actually when the owner of the tree was not there, when the owner of the tree is not there, we will go and pick a fruit and start eating, like that. Here also going to happen. Yes. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. When the night had veiled the pole, in the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. My foe outstretched beneath the tree. You see, and into my garden. Actually, the tree, the anger tree, is in the garden of our poet. And my garden means the poet's garden. You see the words, but just only two words. Into my garden stole. Into my garden stole. Actually, we have to imagine the poet's enemy entered the poet's garden and stole the apple. And after stealing, what we will do? Here we start eating like that. The poet's enemy also doing. You see, on which time he stole the apple, ma? You see the second line of fourth stanza. When the night had veiled the pole. When the night had veiled the pole, actually, the enemy entered the poet's garden when it was the time of night. When it was the time of night. You see, when the night had veiled the pole. And let me explain the meaning, pa. Veiled means screened or covered. Screened or covered. And the covered, the pole. Here the pole refers to in geography. In geography we have earth have two poles, north pole and south pole, like that. Here the pole refers to the pole of the earth. The pole of the earth, that is north pole and south pole. You see, veiled the pole, which means covered the earth's pole. The night had covered the earth's pole, which means even in north and south pole, it is completely night. It is completely dark. That time only Arthur's enemy, the poet's enemy, entered the garden and stole the apple. Actually, we have to imagine, after stealing, what we will do? We will taste the fruit. Yes, here the poet's enemy also started tasting the fruit. We can imagine the results. Actually, if it is a normal tree, means we can be healthy. But this is the poison tree, and let me see what the results will be. See, in the morning glad I see. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. We are sure what will be the result, but the poet's enemy didn't know what will happen if he tastes the fruit. You see, in the morning, you see that night incident completed. Actually, we have to imagine, in the morning the poet came to his garden. When he entered the garden, he felt so much glad. Here glad means happy. Glad means happy. And why he was happy? You see, he was glad to see. I see here means I refers to the poet. See. Actually, when in the morning the poet entered the garden, he was happy to see a beautiful scene. Actually, this is not a beautiful scene. For the poet's sake only, it is very beautiful. What he saw there, you see, my foe outstretched beneath the tree. Outstretched beneath the tree. You see the words, my foe outstretched. Outstretched means, actually, when we are sleeping, we hold our hands together, or we close our legs together, like that we sleep. But here you see the word outstretched. Outstretched means extended arms, hands, fingers, even legs. Extended arms, hands, fingers and legs. You see, the poet started being happy. The poet started being happy on seeing such a scene. What he saw here, you see, his enemy outstretched beneath the tree. You see, outstretched beneath the tree means actually the poet's enemy was died. The poet's enemy was died. Yes, after tasting the poisonous tree's fruit, which is after tasting the poisonous apple, the poet's enemy died. And then one more thing, the poet had the word glad I see. And this time, actually, the anger is not within the poet himself. Actually, it went out when he saw his enemy died under beneath his poison tree, beneath the anger tree. Yes. And let me read the fourth stanza. and into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. Yes, ma. Let me sum up in English. Actually, the tree grew the tree grew and bore a bright apple. His enemy saw the shining apple, and he knew that the apple belonged to the poet. He came secretly into the garden when it was night. He came secretly to the garden when it was night. Yes, he came there and stole the fruit and ate. And see, in the morning, the poet's anger changed into gladness. The poet's anger changed into gladness. This time the poet feels very happy. The anger is not within himself. Why? When he found the enemy outstretched under the poison tree. When he found the enemy outstretched under the poison tree. Yes. Let me sum up in Tamil. அழகான பழத்தால் நம்ம கவரப்பட்ட நம்ம கவிஞரோட எதிரி என்ன பண்ணுறாருன்னா, இவ்வளோ பழம் இந்த அழகாக இவ்வளோ பிரைட் அண்ட் ஷைனிங்காக இருக்கே, இதை எப்படியும் நம்ம டேஸ்ட் பண்ணணுன்னு ரொம்ப ஆசைப்படுறாரு. அதுக்கான வழி என்ன? ஏன்னா அந்த தோட்டமும் அந்த மரமும் யாரோடது? நம்மளோட எதிரியோடது. வேறு என்ன செய்ய முடியும்? என்ன நினைக்கிறாரு? ஒரு நாள் நைட் டைமில் நம்ம கவிஞரோட தோட்டத்துக்குள்ளே பூந்து அந்த மரத்தில் இருக்கிற அந்த பிரைட் ஆப்பிளை சாப்பிட ஆரம்பிச்சிடுறாரு. சாப்பிட்டதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன நடந்ததோ தெரியல. அந்த நைட் சீன் அதோட முடிஞ்சது. மார்னிங் டைமில் நம்ம போயட் நம்ம கவிஞர் அந்த தோட்டத்துக்குள்ளே போகிறாரு. அந்த மரத்தை பார்க்குறாரு. மரத்தில் இருந்த அந்த பிரைட் ஆப்பிளை காணோம். கீழே பார்த்தா ஒரு பயங்கர ஷாக்குன்றதை விட பயங்கர ஹாப்பி. ஏன் பயங்கர ஹாப்பி அப்படின்னா, கீழே அந்த பழத்தை சாப்பிட்ட வாக்கிலேயே நம்ம கவிஞரோட எதிரி கை கால்களை நல்லா ஓப்பன் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கிற ஷேப்பில் அப்படியே இறந்து போய் கிடக்கிறாரு. அதை பார்த்த உடனே பயங்கர சந்தோஷம். யாருக்கு? நம்மளோட கவிஞருக்கு. இங்கே அந்த கோபம், இதுவரைக்கும் இருந்த கோபம் அப்படின்றது மறைஞ்சிருச்சு, இல்லைன்னா மறந்துருச்சு. ஏன் மறந்தது அப்படின்னு சொன்னால், யார் மேலே இவ்வளோ கோபப்பட்டுட்டு இருந்தோமோ அந்த எதிரியே இப்போ என்ன ஆகிட்டான், என்னோட பாய்சன் ட்ரீயில் இருக்கிற அந்த பாய்சனஸ் ஃப்ரூட்டை சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இறந்துட்டார் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஹாப்பினஸ் தான். இதில் நம்ம கவிஞர் சொல்ல வர்ற ஐடியாவை ஒரு முழுசும் ஒரு கற்பனையான ஒரு விஷயத்தை வச்சு தான் சொல்கிறார் அப்படின்றது தான். எப்படி? ஒரு மரம், அதில் மரம் வளரணும், வளர்ந்து நிறைய பழங்கள் கொடுக்கணும், அந்த பழத்தை சாப்பிட்றணும், அது நமக்கு ஹெல்த்தியாக இருக்குது அப்படின்றது அது ஒரு இயற்கையான விஷயம். ஆனால் நம்ம கவிஞர் என்னங்கிறாரு, கட்டுப்படுத்தப்பட்ட இல்லது அடக்கப்பட்ட ஒரு கோபம் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு பாய்சனஸ், அதாவது விஷமுள்ள மரமாக நல்லா வளரும். அந்த மரம் வளர்கிறதுக்கு தேவையான தண்ணி, அந்த சூரிய வெளிச்சம் எல்லாமே கண்டிப்பாக இங்கேயும் கிடைக்கும். இங்கே ஆனால் இந்த பாய்சன் ட்ரீக்கு எது வாட்டராகவும் சன்சைனாகவும் இருந்தது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா, அதாவது நம்ம கவிஞரோட அழுது புலம்பிய அந்த கண்ணீரும், அதாவது அவர்கிட்ட இருக்கிற அந்த போலியான அந்த சிரிப்பும் தான் அந்த மரத்தை இன்னும் வளர வைக்க செஞ்சது. அதுவும் வளர்ந்துச்சு, அழகான ஒரு பிரைட் ஆப்பிளை கொடுத்துச்சு. இந்த ஆப்பிள் நம்ம கவிஞரோட எதிரியை மிகவும் ரொம்ப அட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுச்சு. அதை பார்த்த உடனே அந்த எதிரி இவரோட தோட்டத்துக்குள்ளே பூந்து அந்த பழத்தை திருடி சாப்பிட்றாரு. சாப்பிட்டதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நம்ம கவிஞர் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக இருக்கார். ஏன் அந்த சந்தோஷம்? யார் மேலே இத்தனை நாள் கோபமாக இருந்தோமோ அந்த எதிரி என்ன ஆயிட்டார், இறந்துட்டார் அப்படின்றது. திஸ் இஸ் வாட் த poet conveyed in the poem A Poison Tree. And today I have some more ideas, pa. You see, this is the picture of the first stanza. This is the picture of first stanza. Yes, you see, in the first half of the first picture, and the poet and his friend, they both discussed about the anger, and their anger completed. You see, the second half of the picture. Here also, the poet was angry with his enemy, but he didn't tell the anger to his enemy. So it started growing like a tree. And for second stanza, I have this picture, pa. You see, in the second stanza, the poet and his enemy. Yes, you see, how are you and what are you doing, like that? The poet saying, but inside he was so completely angry with his enemy. Actually, which means fake smile and cunning behavior is described. Fake smile and cunning behavior is expressed here. Yes, the tree started growing with the fake smiles. And you see the third stanza. You see, pa, this is the image of the third stanza. Yes, the poet's enemy started wondering how beautiful the apple and how bright it was and how it is shining. He wanted to taste the fruit. This is the third stanza. You see the fourth one, Fourth one, our poet was very happy on seeing his enemy dead under the poison tree. Yes, this is the pictures conveying the story. And one more thing today I have for you. You see the image of the poison tree. Poison tree. Actually, it looks like a head of a skeleton. It looks like a head of a skeleton. You see very closely, you can find there the poison tree. It looks like the nose of a skeleton. And one more thing, the enemy's hand. Actually, the hand symbolizes the enemy is died. The enemy is died. And the nearby one fruit. This is the poisonous. This is the poisonous fruit. Yes, students. And one more thing I have for you. Yes, you see the chart and you see the words here. Yes, the poet compared anger as a tree. You see the similarities between. Actually, the poet conveyed the messages completely with imaginary activities. Yes, he compared anger with a tree. See the similarities between them. Tree, a usual tree. It is nature for a tree to grow. It's nature for a tree to grow like that. The suppressed anger also started growing. You see that a normal tree needs water and sunshine. The normal tree needs water and sunshine. Here, the tree of anger also needs tears, smiles, which means fake smiles and deceitful wiles. Fake smiles and deceitful wiles. Yes. For normal tree, it grow taking water and shine and give fruits That fruits looks bright and shine. Here for anger tree, this one also will grow and give fruits. But the fruits from the anger tree also looks bright and shine. The fruits of the anger tree also looks bright and shine. You see, for the fruit from the normal tree, it tastes good and do some good to our health. You see, the fruit from a normal tree looks bright and shine. If we taste the fruit, it looks very good and healthy for us. But in the sense of an anger tree, the fruit also looks bright and shine, but the fruit is very poisonous. If we taste the poisonous fruit, means that leads to death. This is the idea he conveyed with the help of a tree. Yes, I sum up. Normal tree grows with the help of water and sunshine. When it was grown up, it give bright and shining fruits. If we taste the fruits, it looks good and do good to our health. In case of the anger tree, that one also grows with the help of tears and fake smiles and deceitful wiles. As in anger tree also, the fruits looks bright and shining, but it is completely poisonous. If we ready to taste the fruit, means that one leads to death. This is the wonderful poem by William Blake. This is the message he conveyed with the help of a plant. Yes, students, I hope you better understood this poem. Soon I catch you in the next class with another topic. Yes, students, before that, I would remember you. Yes, you have to write the meaning of each and every word from the poem. You must write the meaning. Actually, I refers to whom, he refers to whom. Like that, you have to write and write down the meanings also. And keep it ready for our next homework. Thank you, students. Thank you for your support. I will catch you in the next class. Thank you.